Ammo is expensive, but your grip is important, and you really need ammo to figure out how to develop it. So in this video, I want to share with you 3 different drills that you can use for different ammo budgets to further develop your two-handed pistol grip. Let's jump right into it. Before we truly get started, I just want to get one thing straight. Skills are different from drills, and when we're talking about what makes a drill good for a particular skill, the only real criteria we have is, does this drill provide me with opportunities to develop or assess the particular skill I'm working on? So when we're talking about something like grip, I'm really looking for drills that require me to fire multiple shots at the same aiming point. A lot of you probably expected this one, but our first drill, this is going to be the high round count drill for those who have a lot of ammo to spare, is going to be the build drill. And the one thing I'll say about the build drill that is special is that since it's a longer string of fire, you're going to be firing 6 rounds at one target, you do get the added benefit of being able to see a little bit more into how durable your grip is. The only thing I'll say in terms of distance is you don't want to be so close to the target to where the grip is very small and then you can't really articulate what's going on at speed because you're just so darn close. And you don't want to be so far that your misses, even at a slightly uncomfortable pace, end up going completely off target, because then it'll be hard for you to articulate why things are going wrong. So find that happy medium. I'll stay at 7 yards for the sake of this demo. One final cue I'll give you, if you're going to be drawing from the holster, you will be getting that benefit of kind of analyzing the consistency of your grip, right? So how consistently am I coming to the same grip as I'm coming out of the holster? If you're a very new shooter, I would honestly be okay if you were to not draw for every single rep and just start each rep from either a low ready or something here, so that you're already out, you've got a grip built that you feel like is what you're looking for. Regardless of what you do, even if you are drawing out of the holster, if I'm working on my grip, I'm not racing to that first shot. I'm going to draw at a pretty comfortable pace that ensures that I get the best grip I possibly can. I really want to separate the idea of training jaw speed from being out here on the range, dumping rounds and working on my grip. Again, 6 rounds here. It's good to dry fire if you need to, just to kind of like figure out what you're doing in terms of your grip. So for me, I'm adding a bit more like arm tension and things like that. Yeah, that feels decent, so we can try that. So that was a 178 from the low ready, 2, 4, 6. Again, they're all in the A zone, but I'm not really caring about the scoring zone here. I'm trying to like analyze the pattern I've got going on. And that was fine. So I'm gonna pick up the pace. 178 from a low ready isn't really anything to write home about. So let's try and shoot faster. It's very kind of like weird to me having this extra tension. Let's try that again. All right, well, the camera just cut out, but I just did a 175, so pretty much same time. Also roughly the same hits. So if I'm there, I'm going to push the speed further and see what happens. So let's run that again. Okay, that was a 156 that time, so I shaved a 1/4 second off and kept roughly the same hits. I think these 2 here on the bottom were me. That was a little bit of extra tension here, but here. So that's 3 reps. And I've pretty much finished a 20 round mag. I've only got 2 rounds left. If I've only got 20 rounds for that, that's only 3 reps of a build drill. So that's the build drill. Let's talk about the drills that are gonna help you save a little bit more money. All right, the next drill I've got for you are doubles. And doubles are exactly what they sound like. You're going to be shooting 2 rounds at the same spot on the target, and you're gonna give yourself a mental pause in between each pair that you shoot, right? So if you shoot a pair and that second shot goes low left, and you're like, oh wow, my hand felt weird, because there was a lot of extra tension there. Like, I want you to take note of that after that rep and then try and immediately correct it with the next rep. So the pace at which you're shooting doubles, it doesn't have to sound like ba-ba, 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 ba-ba. It could sound like ba-ba. Something weird happened, I'm thinking about it, I'm assessing it, I'm fixing it, ba-ba. Do doubles at whatever pace you want to do. The only thing you need to give yourself a cue for is during that pair, you should be ripping that trigger about as fast as you can pull the trigger twice, right? Save the thinking for after both shots have been fired. All right, again, I'm not assessing draw speed. I want to get the best grip I think I can get and then work from there. A lot of extra tension on that second to last pair. 13 split. I don't know if that 13 split is real. That would be rare for me. So you can see on the very first pair, I kind of let my eyes get disconnected from the spot on the target I cared about. and I was just looking at the dot, and I watched it come up here. And of course, when you're shooting doubles, you're making the decision beforehand to fire 2 shots, right? So I'm not waiting on my sight to return back down and it gets sent up there because my eyes are just with the sight, and I'm like, okay, we can stay up here, when in reality we need to be back down here. So you can't see it well, so I'm gonna put you on the other side of the target now. Here's what we're looking at from that set of doubles. And these are the second shot on like the middle few reps. And I noticed that extra tension kind of creeping in because I've added more input into my arms and shoulders. So we're kind of fixing that. If you've got a big set of hits and you only see like 1 or 2 flyers off and you're able to articulate why they happened, there's really no need to spend too much time on it. So unless I see a bunch of shots start kind of trending that way, we're not gonna read into this too much. We're just gonna keep training. So let's finish this mag of doubles and see what we've got going on. Cool. Okay. I think I'm noticing a lot from this. So again, we have 2 shots low here. Let's come to the other side so you can really see. A lot of hits in that same area. So we're looking half decent. The shape of this is very vertical. So you can probably tell from this new grip style I'm trying out that there's a lot of like kind of vertical tension playing in here. And some of the shots are ending up a little low, some of the shots are ending up a little high. And then these 2 were both the second shot of 2 different pairs when I was really kind of like adding more tension and figuring out how much was too much. And this is clearly too much, right? Because again, even though this is a line breaker in the A zone, this one's just outside the A zone, we're not using those scoring zones as a metric for success, right? I'm focused on the process. I want all of these to ideally be in the same hole, regardless of the distance I'm shooting at. So any sort of weird shape or deviation from that one spot that I'm staring a hole into is going to be cause for concern and like something we want to improve. So that's doubles. That's an entire mag of that. Now let's talk about the budget grip drill. Here we have a totally pasted up target, and our budget grip drill, for those of you who are really trying to get the most value for your ammo, is going to be either half doubles or 1-shot return. And these are 2 different drills, but they're roughly the same thing. So with half doubles, and I got this one from Joey Sauerland, the current limited division national champion, you're going to load your magazine into the gun, load the chamber, and then you're gonna drop the mag. So now you've got a hot chamber and no magazine in the gun. And the reason you're gonna do this is because you're going to aim the gun, set your timer on a par time, and you're going to shoot 2 rounds, but of course there's only 1 round in the gun. So the slide's gonna fully reciprocate, and then you're going to essentially dry fire that second shot. So this will also provide you with an opportunity to work on your dry fire shot calling. And for you to get the full value out of this drill, you need to maintain awareness of exactly where the sights are the moment that that second trigger pull breaks. So let's see what this looks like. So again, I'm gonna be aimed at that spot already with my new grip. And for me, I think that second shot was like a little bit high and right, kind of like how that first pair of doubles was. The first shot's dead center. And to reset for each rep, again, we have to put the mag back in the gun, rack it, drop the mag. So this one kind of forces you to think. So if you're the type of shooter who will typically burn through a ton of ammo in a very short amount of time, this drill might be good for you because you've got a built-in like slow down and think kind of mechanism because of all the movement that you have to do here. So let's do this again. I'm gonna try and fix that. That felt better. A little bit of extra firing hand tension on the first shot. It was kind of low left. Late to the first shot because I didn't feel my sights well. And again, you need to be assessing how well and how quickly your sight is returning back to where you were initially aiming. I'm not trying to break from my target focus, but I'm maintaining awareness of where the sights are at. at all times. So for there, it kind of went up and kind of whipped over way to the left. And I think that shot was like perfectly 9 o'clock off from my initial aiming point. Let's do one more of these and I think you'll get the point. That felt much better. The dot tracked almost perfectly at 12 o'clock, returned, and it was maybe an inch or two kind of away. So that was definitely the best rep I had of that one so far. So let's check our hits here. Again, these are all in roughly a fist-sized group, and frankly, you're not gonna get much data from the hits that are on the target themselves because we're assessing our grip this entire time. And all of this is happening as like the first shot in your doubles, which ideally should be pretty close to where you were initially aiming. So what the value we're really getting is we have very real recoil from shooting around, and then we're pulling that trigger and it's a dry fire shot. So you really have to maintain awareness of where the sights were as that second trigger pull breaks for you to like get the value from this drill. Let's talk about one shot return. One shot return is a bit simpler, but it still involves just one shot. You're just gonna stare at that spot and maintain awareness of what the sight does in recoil without pulling the trigger the second time. So let me just load up the mag. You don't need to do any of the theatrical loading and unloading with this drill. And let's do a couple reps of that. Okay. It kind of settled a little bit above where I was aiming. I want it to come straight back down. Much better. Okay. I'm getting that first shot in about 0.2 as well from being off the trigger. That feels good. Oh, nice. Two in the same hole. Way off. Totally yanked it. Let's fix that. Pushed it too far. Again, you're just maintaining awareness of what you're doing. Watching the sights in recoil. That rep was a little bit lazy. If you notice that I came off before letting it return fully. Again. Let's just finish this magazine here. Nice. That felt amazing. Dead center hit. Oh. Again. Okay. So that's 3 rounds in the same hole, and that was a 15. So that was my fastest one. That felt great. So there's my 3. And again, you can see me in real time kind of really figuring this out. So I put 3 shots in this same hole back to back. I'm gonna call that good and keep training that. If I had more rounds, that's kind of what I would be doing. So there's 3 drills for different ammo budgets. Again, you have the bill drill for those of you with a ton of ammo to spare. The added benefit there is that you get to test the durability of your grip as well. Whereas these other shorter courses or strings of fire don't let you do that. You have doubles, which is the bread and butter of a lot of people's training regimen for a good reason. And then you have the half double and the one shot return, which are both very valuable drills. And I use all of these in my own training. So oftentimes I'll shoot doubles, and then if something truly weird is happening, I will switch to shooting one shot return just to give myself that extra room to kind of think about what's going on. And then once I've worked out that kink that I'm currently dealing with, I will switch back to shooting doubles and picking up that speed. I hope this has provided you with some good ideas to incorporate into your own training. You can check out hats here on the website, organize a class, do all the cool stuff there. If you've got drills of your own that have helped you revolutionize your grip and take it to the next level, be sure to leave those in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching, and I hope this video made you a better marksman.